With the release of the Nintendo 64 in June 1996, Konami wanted to bring Power Pros to the new system. Coming out 9 months later in March 1997, Power Pros 4 introduced a lot of firsts for the franchise. One of the biggest updates was the use of analog controls. Compared to the digital controls of previous titles, using the analog stick to pitch and hit gives players a lot more control. Combined with the batter's PCI now being an oval instead of a rectangle, it makes for tracking pitches and hitting in general a lot more approachable. While players are still sprite-based, the stadiums are now fully 3D, which is another nice addition to the presentation. The scenario mode has once again been dropped. Success mode though saw improvements, with players finally able to create pitches. This now allowed players to create full teams of created players, which wasn't possible before. It also marks the first time 2 popular recurring characters made their appearance, Akio Yabe and Mamoru Ikari. Their personalities aren't as fleshed out as they would be later in the series, but fans will find it interesting to see how their characters developed. On the whole, the game feels great, mainly due to the analog controls making the game more balanced. Minor negatives such as requiring almost a full game pack for saving, and issues with being promoted too quickly in success mode don't really detract from what's an excellent upgrade from the previous titles. As seen in the previous video, Konami released multiple updated versions after this main series entry. It wasn't until March 1998 that the next mainline installment, Power Pros 5 for the N64, came out. By this point, the foundation for the series had been set, with the gameplay being upgraded thanks to the analog controls. From here, Diamond Head would refine the modes and other aspects to polish the game up further. The sound saw improvements, with each team now having their own cheer songs based on popular players from each team due to copyright issues. Overhand pitchers will have better fastballs and weaker sinkers, while side and underarm pitchers will have the reverse. Scenarios have been added back in for those who missed them from 4. It's with the success mode that the team spent the most time changing. Rather than starting in the second team with the aim to make it to the first, 5 sets players in a high school team aiming to win Koshin. There are multiple benefits that come from this new setting. Players can play out a full 3 years now without worrying about being promoted too early, giving you more time to develop your player. With 3 high schools to choose from, each offer different levels of difficulty in becoming a regular. To go along with this, there are many more events and characters to meet, which give more reasons for replaying and trying out different schools and gaining abilities. Another fan favourite in Susumu Ikari, Mamoru's younger brother, is introduced for the first time and plays an important role in the overall story. The mode is generally a great improvement that hasn't seen many changes since its inception, but there are still a few weird quirks. For one, you can't rest to regain stamina and instead have to rely on studying or having a consultation meeting, so having a girlfriend is almost required. Both don't guarantee a set amount of stamina recovery, so it can be a problem. Some training practices offer very little stat gain but a very high chance of injury, making them practically useless until they've been leveled up. Speaking of injuries, the infamous traffic accident event has a high probability of ruining your playthrough, which was lowered in subsequent games. As an improvement over 4 overall, 5 marks another great entry that allowed the team to start experimenting with what they could offer players in future releases. Between 5 and the next main game, there were the usual updated versions released for PlayStation. Power Pros 98 Kaimaku-ban in July 1998 and Power Pros 98 Kete-ban in December 1998. Along with updated rosters, they made some slight changes to how success mode worked, allowing players to name their high school and select its region, while also letting you give training instruction to all players once you reach captaincy. There were 2 other releases on new platforms during this time. Power Pros GB released in March 1998 on the Game Boy, making it the first portable version of the series. A bare bones version of the game, the only options are to play single games against a computer or others using a link cable. Due to hardware limitations, the game looks very simple, with it not playing particularly well either. The other game, Katabase Power Pokken, was released in arcades in 1998. A medal game where you aim to score as many runs as possible to earn medals back, the game is controlled with one button to swing the bat and to try and hit targets out in the field. Even more simple than the Game Boy game, but something everyone can try. Released in March 1999, Power Pro 6 for the N64 continues the main series and expands on the great work they had done in 5. Gameplay remains the same as does the graphics, leaving Diamond Head to once again look at what could be improved in the modes available. Success mode has been changed again, with players now participating in a university league, selecting from one of 6 universities, each offering different experiences to grow your player. Money is now an important aspect that must be managed carefully, with different rents needing to be paid depending on your choice of university. Because of this, it's possible to get a game over in later years if the rent increases too high, or if the player's parents get laid off and the player doesn't have a part-time job. While the amount of events, abilities and characters has increased again, the amount of luck needed, something which has plagued the success mode since its first version, is extremely high. On one hand, this does allow for a lot of variety for playthroughs, but as it doesn't rely on a player's skill, it can be a frustrating experience to lose thanks to bad luck. Success mode isn't the only mode that saw changes. The pennant mode saw an upgrade with Dramatic Pennant. The change here is players' stats growing throughout the season by holding camps and playing in games, giving you a much deeper experience in managing the team. For those who enjoy playing through multiple seasons, this is a great addition that enhances the mode and has been tweaked in later games. But if a player wanted to scratch the itch of training players on the go, then Power Pro's Pocket, released in April 1999 on the Game Boy, allowed just that. A portable version emphasising the success mode, the game is a sequel to 5, with previous staff members from Diamond Head working on it while new staff worked on the main series. The main selling point was the ability to transfer players from Pocket to 6 and later PlayStation 1 games using the password system. While an improvement over Power Pro's GB due to the content included and the player transfer functions, the gameplay itself is still weak and difficult, but also still heavily luck dependent. By this point, the game formula and presentation have reached its limits as to what both the N64 and PlayStation 1 could achieve. The updated versions for PlayStation 1, Power Pro's 99 Kaimaku ban in July 1999 and Kete ban in December 1999, were now using the same graphics and menu styles as the N64, making the series equal on all platforms, albeit with some changes to the story for success mode. The Dreamcast, released in 1999, even saw its own version, Power Pro's Dreamcast Edition, in March 2000. This is essentially just a port of the 99 games with updated rosters and some bug fixes. As it's the only Power Pro's game on the system, it's equally the best and worst version. It's still a great game from a gameplay standpoint, but there isn't any graphical improvements or online use which the Dreamcast offered over the previous consoles, which is a slight disappointment. The Game Boy also had its final release in March 2000, Power Pro's Pocket 2. Changes include telling a different story for its success mode, with players trying to stop the team from disbanding, to a mode where you need to survive 200 weeks during World War II. Players can also be transferred again using the password system, this time to Power Pro's 2000 on the N64, released in April 2000. Much like the Dreamcast version, this is just a port of the 99 games, and is seen as the last true version of the series on the platform. During the time the Dreamcast and N64 games came out, the PlayStation 2 had launched in Japan in March. Not too long later, the next mainline game, Power Pro 7, was released in July 2000. A transitional version that carries over nearly all the features from the previous games, but now players are rendered in fully 3D. 6 saw the inclusion of the Dramatic Pennant, but it was removed for this game. The design of Power Pro Pennant also now resembles what is used presently. Success mode once again focuses on being promoted from the second to the first team, and much like 6, each team has different strengths and weaknesses when it comes to training and learning. New characters like Aoi Hayakawa make their first appearance along with returning characters who each play for different teams. You can now create special training programs by combining practices and items together, greatly helping in developing players' stats. Because these training methods are more reliable, the randomness of the game has been lowered, making creating strong players more manageable, though luck still plays an important role overall. As for the gameplay, the switch to fully 3D has meant other aspects has been tweaked. Swing speeds are a lot faster, while when the ball is in play it's quite small, making fielding difficult. A fielder's shoulder strength is also more important, as the difference in the speed of throws is significant between ranks. As the first entry for PlayStation 2, this game shows that Diamond Head was starting to form the new basis which future games would work from. While still from perfect, the updated graphics and gameplay tweaks were a step up from the previous games. As was customary, an updated version, Power Pro 7 Keteban for PS2, was released in December 2000 with updated rosters and bug fixes. The original PlayStation saw Power Pros 2000 Kaimaku Ban released in July 2000, with Power Pros 2000 Kete Ban released in December 2000. In the span of another 3 years, the game had been released on 3 more systems, totaling 28 games in 6 years overall. Diamond Head's development cycle had been steadily putting out new and updated releases non-stop, and this wouldn't change as newer systems became available for them to experiment on. In the next video, we'll look at how Power Pros established itself on the PlayStation 2 and made its way onto new handhelds, giving players more options to play on the go. If you've enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like and comment. Thanks for watching, I hope you're enjoying whatever you're playing, and I'll catch you in the next one.